Okay, hi everybody. We're going to come back to the Suling again in Slendro. So last time we just learned a very simple melody that starts off most patterns, right? So that was 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 1, 3, 5, 2, 3, 1, 2. Yeah, with the ornaments on it. So I hope you all remember that. Today, what I'd like to do first is start off by offering a couple of little variations on that that are going to be important when we start learning our first piece. So the first thing is just a little addition to the very beginning of it. So sometimes we use this addition and sometimes we don't, and I'll explain exactly how you know whether to use it or not. This is kind of just a little tag that goes on the beginning. So basically, when we're choosing our patterns, one of the things we have to keep in mind is whether the overall feeling of the piece, the overall feeling of the melody in the balungan, is high or low in register. Right? So if we're starting high, we can play the melody exactly like we learned it last week. But if we're playing a melody that is lower in register, we want to start with this little tag that we're going to add on to the beginning. And that's really simple. It's just 6, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, lo, 3, 3, 3. Yeah, and then we jump directly into the way that we learned it last week. So again, 6, 1, 2, and using Javanese numbers again. Nam chi ro chi lo 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 ro chi lo mo ro lo chi ro. Yeah, so that's going to sound like this. Now we can also add on that ornament that we used last time on ro, just that slight finger shift. We can also use here. So in that long tone ro. So nam chi ro chi lo. Okay, so the other thing we can do with that little intro melody, so that it's not always the same thing for every time we play, we can actually add a little variation into it. So instead of always playing lo 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 ro chi lo mo ro lo chi ro, that very ending lo chi ro, we can actually play chi lo ro. All right, so that's going to sound something like this. So we have the original, and we have the variation. One more time. The original and the variation. All right, so now all we have to do is add in the goal tones. So right after that opening melody, we've just got to add in our goal notes, right? A lot of these are pretty similar, and the ones we're going to need for Puspawarna are just 3 different goal tones, and I'll explain that next time. So the first one is salah nam, which is just going to be nam 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 china mo chi nam nam nam. And you'll notice on that last num, I'm just lifting my finger slightly as a little bit of an ornament, right? The next one that we have to do is salah chi, salah 1, yeah? Again, really similar thing. Nam 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 china mo ro chi. And for the chi at the end of that, we've got a couple of different variations for the ornament. So one of them is just that ornament that I was playing where I just pick up my finger and slide it over half of the hole. Right? So it's just like that. Another option for the ornament on chi, we can just play a single finger trill on that high note and stop it with your tongue right after the note. Or I can play like this. I can let go of my whole left hand and just brush it over the open holes. And again, stop it with my tongue. Any one of these are totally fine. So the last one that we're going to need is just saleh lu, saleh 3. And so again, quite similar. Nam 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 jinamolu, namolu, lu, lu, lu. So for a lot of these, they're very flexible. So the tempo is really flexible. The amount that you repeat these smaller things is really flexible. Using ornaments or not using ornaments is also totally improvisatory. But again, it's like a balance. So you want to use some ornaments, definitely, but you don't want to use the same ones all the time. So it's good to have a little bit of variation. So basically that's it. So now when we join that with the initial melody that we had learned, we're going to hear the full Cengkok. Yeah, so let's hear all three of these, saleh nam, saleh chi, and saleh lu, in their full form with that opening melody. Sometimes I'll play the original way, sometimes I'll play a variation, sometimes I'll play it with that opening tag, and sometimes I won't. So let's try it out. One more time, saleh nam. One more time, saleh chi. And finally, saleh lu.